Hello, lovelies, and welcome to lunch day. Yay! So, yeah, Relic of Time number 4 is now out. Let's see. I did not get the print of my copy, so I had to print out a picture of my cover. Very beautiful. I really love this image. Printer, however, did not love the image, and I'm still waiting on Amazon to deliver my proofs. I don't know if you guys know what's happening, but a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, Amazon decided that they're going to bribe the post office to start delivering their packages. The problem is the post office, this more than doubles their volume. So they're just dumping Amazon parcels off at the USPS post offices now. And yeah, their addressing and coding system is not the same, and it's a disaster. I have friends who are still in the post office, and yeah, they're not happy. They're not happy at all. So let's see who was in here. RC was first. Hello, love. Thank you so much for coming and supporting me. Hello, Felicia. Welcome to the stream. Jennifer, my sweetheart, how are you? Woot woot. Yay. Thank you, Margaret. I really appreciate that. It is so good to just get this one out. And very first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull the postie that says Ancient Ice Apocalypse off of the Kanban board and tear it into pieces because yay! And in it goes into my little bowl with all of my little shreddies that I've done so far this year. So yay! That is out of the way. I am just super happy that I am getting able to get all of this stuff done, that I am able to just, it's been a struggle. If anybody's been following my channel, you know that I've not been nearly as active this year as I have been the last few years. And it's because I've been having this months-long battle with migraines. And I'm on my 5th medication in 6 months for migraines. It's just, I'm okay. I just realized that I had a misspelled word in my banner before I hit it. So I had to fix that. Yeah, I am super happy to just cranking out the books. I'm really trying to get it done. Right now, the August 80K is going on, and I am to 20. I missed the first 5 days, and in the last 5 days, I have made up 20 words. So if I can keep on these, I will still be able to finish the August 80K. So I'm going to be doing that. And for Ancient Ice Apocalypse, I do have a chai selected to read to everyone. The internet is being very jumpy today, so I do not know how long I'm here with you because literally my end, I'm just watching the little gauge thing that I have that tracks the speed, and it's just like So, all right, let me pull up. That's not the one I want to pull up. That one. And let's get that big enough. And I rolled some dice to get a page number to have I tried yes, they've had me on both of those. They've also had me on Imitrex, Stadol, Propranolol, ergotamine, and Ubrelvy. So yeah, the next one that I'm trying, I'm waiting for the prior authorization from the pharmacy coverage of our insurance because it's a once a month injectable, and it's an $890 per injection medication. So, and they do have a 3-month injectable. Either way, I'm looking at $100 copay. They have one that's a 3-month injectable, but they want me to try it once you do the monthly for the first 2 or 3 months to see if I tolerate it before they give me the 3-month. So, yeah, because money just grows on a tree in my yard. So, yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very I'm happy that I can keep going. My goal is I have 640,000 more words of Relic of Time Wars to edit. And that's not counting book 12 is the Shadow Hunt. And I have like 30K that I need to write for that book. And then I have like 30 more K that I have copied from other books. It's because this is time travel. There are scenes where the future people like interact with the people in the past. And in the books moving forward, all of the scenes are written from the people experiencing them. And so the people that are doing the jumping, you don't see them until you see the Shadow Hunt. And there are places where there's just like 1 or 2 lines that mentions this thing. And that's like a little Easter egg for book 12. Because all through the series are these little paragraphs or little 2 or 3 sentences about something or someone that's actually that by the time you get to 12, they're from the future. So yeah, it's putting in those little Easter eggs. That's the reason that I have the entire series written before I started like doing the publishing onto Amazon, because I have to make sure all of these little Easter eggs are in and where the Easter eggs come from. And writing time travel is hard. So, yeah. So I'm going to read a part of a chapter. And what has happened is Dr. Daisy Kane is our physicist, and Karstein is actually Kars is Lord Karstein of Adamos. He is our semi-immortal. And he's in modern times, and Daisy is looking for his people. And she found this ancient city under a dome of coral and stone underneath, like adjacent to this island. And the actual city that was Atlantis, that they've been looking for, at the time that the people lived there, the water level was 100, 200 feet than it is now in modern times. And so they're exploring Atlantis, and they're just trying to get some more answers because something is not right with the world, and they have figured it out. Let's see. RC is back. He says, let's see. Work was hot, cleaning stage decks. And, oh my goodness. Stay hydrated, RC. Stay hydrated. All right. Darkness on the ocean was very different from that of land. After dinner, no, let's see. Let's see if I can make that bigger. Can I make that bigger? It's not making it bigger. Okay. Well, I'm trying. All right, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. After dinner, Daisy sat on the deck writing the calculations she needed longhand in a notebook. Cars with several of Admiral Abernathy's Marines cleared the ancient temple of most of the cursed undead. She remembered how the old Navy man stared at the inside of the dome in awe. Atlantis, it's real, and we've been looking in the wrong sea the whole time. Technically, it's Atlantia because IS it AN because this is AN and this is TI. With these changes and the symbols form an S or Z to an A. She tapped on the script on the wall that looked like a mix of linear A, Egyptian hieroglyphics, and Assyrian cuneiform. The numeric value of all the names is Daisy, I adore you, like Tim and Alistair did, but don't quote me the math. It's above my pay grade. Interrupting, Abernathy admonished her, and she giggled. What are you smiling about? Cars interrupted the memory as he laid on the deck next to her. Abernathy was so happy today. Ty moved past them to check the anchor line. He hasn't smiled like that since Bernice passed away, Ty agreed quietly, then moved aft. He glanced at her notebook. What are you doing? Just some math to relax my brain enough to sleep, Daisy half lied. Then she looked up at the sky. Cars, what were the stars and constellations called when you were a boy? Karstein pointed at the sky. Orion was called the Guardian, a warrior holding a shield in front and a battle axe over his head, with a short sword in his belt. The bright stars encircling him were the six. They were to aid the Guardian against the shadows. Aldebaran, Castor, Pollux, Procyon, Ceres, and Rigel? Daisy asked. She glanced at the old general at the stern, patting his pockets. Then he went downstairs, probably looking for his pipe. It's in the second cabinet, starboard side, on the top shelf, left corner, she called after him, then looked back to the sky. What were the others called? Karstein raised up on to his elbows and pointed. The star cluster nebula, called Pleiades, or Seven Sisters, was called the Oracle's Gate or Temple of Light. Did you have names for the zodiac constellations? Daisy asked as she made notes. Not exactly, Cars frowned, like he was trying to remember. Pisces was actually 4 fish, with the vessel of Aquarius as the third and fourth fish, and the rest of Aquarius combined with Capricorn to make the great net. Staring at the sky, Daisy murmured, I can see it. Scorpio was the southern Quetzal, or feathered serpent, and, Cars murmured, his finger traced the line of Draco. And those stars around the pole star were the northern Quetzal. He chuckled. The Great Bear was the same, but no little bear. And instead of Pegasus, we called the constellation the Mastodon. It was part of the Predator constellations, with Cassiopeia as the raptors, like Troodons, Andromeda as the saber-toothed feline, and Perseus was the dire wolf. They stared at the sky in silence, watching a few meteors streak across the dark hemisphere. I don't remember the name of the triangle and box constellation next to Cassiopeia, but that one and those below it are the great raptor, like a rex or Spinosaurus. That's Cephas, and the curl of the tail would be Lacerta, Daisy pointed out. The mastodon was part of the predators? Ty asked. Carr shrugged. They were more dangerous than the other if they had young, like modern hippos. What did you call the Milky Way? Ty asked. From the stern where he sat, smoke lying on his back, Karstein sighed as he revealed. The name for the Milky Way and the aurora borealis is the same. The celestial veil. Both were considered sacred. Daisy murmured the name in Atlantean, and Cars nodded. She returned to writing math in her notebook. Ty smoked his pipe, and soon Cars began to snore lightly, a sound he only made when he was deeply asleep. Finishing another page, Daisy stood and stretched, then walked aft to go into the cabin and lay down. Daisy? Yes, sir. How bad is it for us that the constellations have barely changed, but the geologic record says tens of millions of years has passed? The old general didn't ask about the math. He knew he wouldn't understand. Catastrophic in the best case scenario, apocalyptic in the worst. She clutched her notebook to her chest, admitting, It's all about the math I haven't figured out yet. I am uncertain where to even start. If Alistair were still alive. She looked skyward for several minutes, then back at him. I'm hoping to find more clues here. She bowed her head, then said, Thank you for not letting me forget to sleep and eat. I'm sorry I'm such a burden. He nodded, then smiled at her. You need to take care of yourself, Daisy. I'm old and won't be around forever. The world needs you to save it. Cars needs you. They looked at the semi-immortal sleeping on the deck. You're the only one who can figure out this box. Good night, Ty. Sweet dreams, Daisy. And that is one of the places where you begin to figure out that there is something very, very wrong with this world. Daisy has been, when she discovered Atlantis, she discovered the resonance of time energy and an exponential explosion of time energy that she theorized trapped our world in a pocket of what she calls strange time. The problem is the time machine, the relic of time that they used to travel with, only has a range of about 50,000 years. Now, according to the geologic record, the Cretaceous was 65 million years ago. But Karstein was alive during the Cretaceous, and there's no way that he could still be alive now. So something happened to our world to alter the flow of time across the surface of our planet, drastically changing evolutionary patterns. And Daisy is beginning to figure out that it has something to do with the ice age that started roughly 25,000 years earlier. Because from 25,000 years ago to about 12,000 years ago, we had an ice age. And she's developing some theories that are actually very terrible about the ice age being weaponized and used as a conduit to focus time energy into the planet itself, to basically age the planet at an exponential rate. And that begins her dragging Cars with her, and Davin and Farrell and the youngest Maizoni, Moira Garrett, down this rabbit hole of time. And eventually they have to go back to the Ice Age and face Karstein's brother Damien, who is trying to wrest control of the last surviving city of Atlantis away from the ruling princess, and find the true source of the ice and time contamination. So this one is definitely, it's one of, It's one of the more adventure-y books. You get to know the characters on a personal level. You meet the Maisoni sisters, the Garrett sisters, who are the last of the women warriors called the Maisoni. You get to meet their mother and learn about their father, which you only saw when Daisy was a baby. He saved Daisy when she was an infant, and it's they're moving through time. Daisy is doing a lot of moving through time. She's trying to figure things out. She is time jumping a lot to try to get answers for Karstein about, because he's the last one left. He has no memory of what happened to his people. He just knows that his father and grandfather took he and his brother, and they lived in the Western Kingdom. And then after his grandfather's death and the war with his, the city of their people vanished, and he never knew what happened to it. So yeah, they are going to have to solve some things in the future. They're going to have to jump back into the past. And the problem is, jumping into the past, Karstein is twice. And being twice causes temporal toxicosis. And if Daisy can't figure it out, Karstein might have a few minutes, might have a week. She's trying to figure out a way to protect him, and she's got to do this because they need him to overcome his brother. And if things go wrong, they're facing a civil war for the city of Atlantis. And like I say in the blurb, if the ice doesn't kill them, the civil war will. And someone's not making it back to the future at the end. So you'll just have to read it and find out. Oh, well, we have been on for 24 minutes. I don't have any more news. The next book, Aetheria Arises, which is on my Wattpad page. The edited version, Guardian and the Oracle and the Children of the Tear, these are the Lost Centuries, should be coming out, let's see, 10 weeks from now. What is 10 weeks from now? September, October. So that's what we're looking at, that one. I am also working on the August 80K. I am putting the accountability draft on my Inkit page. It is a story called Cowboy a la carte, about two sisters and their cousin trying to get out of the little tiny gossipy elitist town of Vail Falls, Colorado. And they get out into the world, start living their lives. And a few years later, their parents are in an accident and they go home only to discover they can't sell the house and leave again because there's a stipulation in the will that they have to live there. And so one of the sisters is married and the other one's in the Navy and can't take more than a short amount of leave. And the cousin comes with them, and they're fixing up the house, just doing some stuff in the house. And they discover a diary of the mother. And suddenly they realize that their parents may have been murdered, and that the same person might have killed their cousin's mother, who was their dad's sister, and a couple more people. So there's a murderer in Vail Falls, and the sisters have to figure it out. And that's the story I am writing for Cowboy a la carte, the August 80K. I'm trying to keep up with the editing and the writing and stuff. Hopefully the new medication that they are figuring out for me, fingers crossed it will work. They're trying to figure out a way to reduce the inflammation in my brain. So I'm like, as long as I can still do the writing thing, the editing thing. I had too many words to edit to just lay in a dark room and listen to passive white noise, blue noise. I don't know. They've started changing white noise and giving it all different colors for names depending on what you're listening to. So rain and ocean sounds. Fingers crossed. because we've got, this is book number 4, and we have 8 more, 9 to release Relic of Time Wars. So we'll see how it goes out the other end. But stay tuned. Aetheria Rises will be coming next, followed by the Dust Shadow Insurgent. And then next year we have Allies of Dust, Gambits of Light, Games of Shadows. It's going to be a long road, but we're going to get all these books out. I'm determined to get all these books out before my daughter gets out of the Navy. So, stuff to do. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for listening to my little excerpt of the chapter, my little geek out for astronomy, because in case you don't know, stars drift over time, and the constellations you see today are not the constellations they were looking at 10,000 years ago. Be blessed. Have a very lovely day, and we'll see you again.